What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here from DataDash, and hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you are, because in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you a free tool you can utilize here today to track all of your crypto and Web3 related activities, from your long-term positions and dollar cost averaging activities to your staking or yield generating activities within various DeFi protocols or staking yields, and beyond that as well, the ability to track your trades and various activities across different networks, as well as your activities outside of the realm of crypto, such as your mortgage or monthly income or expenditures. Today, we're going to be talking about none other than iYield. And over the last year, iYield has risen to be a leader in its own right in the crypto space, as it offers this free ability to track all of your activities across a variety of different means and financial activity. So I want to go ahead and spend some time about how this platform can be useful for you, especially as we prepare to step into an altcoin cycle where we want to have all of our data available, but beyond that as well, how it can be useful for a whole range of different personas, from active traders, long-term passive investors, more generic users who might be doing activities outside of crypto, and beyond that as well, for those who are really focused on tracking all their yield and staking activities. Now, there's been a lot of buzz, as I mentioned, over the last year since the protocol has launched, a lot of customer testimonials saying how powerful this tool is and how they were able to unsubscribe from other services so they could utilize this one platform to do all of their main activities for tracking. And I want to demonstrate here today through a live demo how we can go about doing this. And I thought, what better way to do this than to showcase a couple different personas. So I want to showcase, first and foremost, what it could be like for an average user within iYield. Now, this is going to be a pre-populated account here. It's got some dummy data here, but what we're generally showing here is how we can track our wealth, and more specifically our assets and debt, as well as our monthly budget, to get an overview of our activities. From, again, all of our income and expenses, which can include traditional financial activities, but also crypto-related activities. So here, the first tab you're going to see within the space that we have here, I am using an average user space here. We have other ones for the different personas we're going to look at. But in this case, we're going to start on the Wealth tab. And the Wealth tab is going to give us an overview of not only our net worth and our capital efficiency, so how much total assets we own here, as well as how much we're actually putting to work here in order to get some kind of yield, but along with that as well, our monthly return when it comes to our income and assets, and also just specifically on our assets. It's also going to show us an asset allocation breakdown. So we can see that the vast majority of assets we own within this portfolio are dedicated to our house, which is a traditional financial activity, but along with that as well are 2 ETH validators. We also have some funds in our ETH wallet and some money in our savings account. We can also see the wealth makeup here that again showcases how our assets stack up against our debts. And this is again really something that I think is very valuable here, because a lot of crypto platforms not only don't allow you to really see into the traditional world of activity, but they don't help you visualize your debts as well. So this is really valuable stuff here to really see the health of your financial position, especially if you're looking to, for example, borrow crypto and then utilize it in other different types of yield generating activities or to trade or speculate in the market. We can also see our asset tab here, which is going to showcase a list of all the assets that make up that breakdown. We can also add these in manually, but along with that as well, if they're crypto related ones, I'm going to show you later on in the video how we can actually go about adding these in a very streamlined way without having to plug in each and every one and then remove them when we sell them. Now, of course, this is the wealth tab here, but we also have the budget tab. And this is where I think things get really cool, because it's one thing to have wealth or have built up some wealth. It's another to ask the question of whether or not you're going to be increasing or decreasing that wealth over the next couple of months and what your financial situation could look like 6 to 12 months out. Well, the really cool thing about this is that because of the data we've plugged into this average user space here, we can see not only our salary here, which we have plugged in about $4,000, as well as the tracked income on chain for the income for our ETH validators. But along with that as well, we've plugged in a variety of expenses here, from groceries to our loan repayment for student loans, as well as a whole range of other things. And because of this, we not only get a beautiful representation of, hey, maybe where we can cut some expenses or where can we boost our income, but along with that as well, we can get a projection of where we're going to stand a couple months to a year out. This is really exciting stuff here. And again, I think really is going to help a lot of you out there who might be getting into crypto to really be able to get a visual representation of your financial trajectory, which so many people don't really think about when you're getting kind of clouded by all the crazy activity in crypto. You can also get a picture of your income here with each individual item, like your salary or income from various different things. For example, like staking or yield generating platforms like EtherFi. for example, savings account where you might be getting some amount of interest per month on your money, and of course, ETH validator yields. Now, for the things that are on chain, these yields are going to be tracked, and you don't have to worry about getting this information plugged in manually. So it really streamlines a lot of the process and gives you a relatively accurate picture. Not to mention, of course, you can plug in your routine monthly expenses and modify them at any time in the case that you might, for example, be paying a bit more on that given month. So this is really the overall key user experience here once you've got your data plugged in. But how do we go about actually plugging in our information, and how could this be useful for other different types of personas? So we've seen this from an average user perspective, but we could also use this for a whole range of other different things. We could use it in the perspective of a trader. Now I wanted to go ahead and demonstrate here how we can go about adding in information in order to actually start kind of populating a space here within an iYield account and getting some valuable information and how it could really look like. So what I did here is I found a random whale account here that holds a lot of different altcoin and meme coin positions, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that address here into iYield. The way we do this is we come up here to click the Add New button, and we can either directly connect our Web3 wallet, which will allow us to connect either Phantom or MetaMask, which I know some users don't feel comfortable with, even though you're not giving them permissions to sign transactions or any activities like that. But you can also come up here and just simply enter the 0x address into the crypto address bar and click the search icon. And this will immediately start populating the account with all the relevant information from that wallet. You can start to see slowly but steadily, it's going to start pulling not only all of our holdings from the Ethereum network here, but along with it as well, holdings on networks like Base, networks like Optimism, Arbitrum, and BNB chain. So we're really getting a full overview of all of the holdings across multiple L1 and L2s without the need to go on multiple visual explorers and track those positions. It's all being streamlined here into one UI. And we simply click the add button, and this is going to be populated into the account so we can get a full reading on the asset holdings, including both our assets and our debts, as well as any kind of budget related items here. And just like that, we've got a full breakdown of all of the holdings within this wallet address, from the makeup of which individual assets, but along with that as well, a full list of those assets down here across various different networks, all from within one user interface. So this dramatically helps in simplifying the tracking of not only your own assets, but along with that as well, other traders. And you can add multiple account addresses in this case, so multiple 0x addresses, tracking all those different networks all within one UI. Really great stuff. But this is from a trader's perspective. Where iYield really shines, in my view, is for those who are tracking yield generation across a variety of lending and borrowing protocols or staking protocols. Not to mention across various different emerging L1 and L2 networks. This is where iYield really shines here, because even just for example, if we were to take this address, this is another whale account here with a lot of staked positions across Aave, and as well as a variety of different staking within the Ethereum space, we can see that there are large position sizes here that make up the assets, and we get a full breakdown of this 100% capital efficient portfolio. But along that as well, we can start to see some debts here. And this is where I think, again, the health and financial soundness of your positioning can really be uncovered here when you're starting to plug in your data and information into iYield. So if we take a look, for example, on our assets, we've got a whole range of staked ETH positions, as well as wrapped Ether and wrapped liquid staked Ether. But along with that, we've also got some debt here. So this is a Aave loan that we've taken out. We've essentially borrowed, in this case with this wallet, between USDC Coin and USD Tether that have allowed to go out and build some of these positions. So this is really great for those who are, for example, levered up in the market, who have positions that are dependent on the valuation of the assets you're exposed to in accordance with the debt that you've borrowed in order to finance those purchases. So this is, again, something incredibly invaluable for those who are maximizing yield, and especially if they're having the debt element as well, to be able to track that and be able to track collateralized debt positions, etc. So this is just one way, but we could also go on and add a whole range of different networks. What's really great about iYield is that they have probably the widest range of support of some of the new emerging protocols out there, whether they're yield generating protocols, master nodes, or for example, positions in new niche protocols in DeFi like Ethena. So we have Engine Layer, Dash, Binance Balances, M4, EtherFi, Index Coop, InstaDApp, Pendle positions, The list goes on here. Some of these, I have to be honest with you guys, I've looked around and it's difficult to find a protocol that even covers some of these because some of them are kind of the new emerging players and there's not great ways to really pull that data. But to have all of this, and not to mention that the team is working hard at adding new ones each week, I think that this is a huge selling point here for iYield as a protocol. Not to mention that it's free, right? So this is a really big thing here that you can add all these different things. There's individual documents you can track as well that will show you how to plug in these particular things for various protocols, but it's very likely at the end of the day that a lot of these are going to be plugging in a 0x address or simply your wallet information. If you're using the more niche protocols, it might be a bit different. One of these other complex transaction types that you usually will engage in if you're seeking out yield in the crypto space is providing liquidity to AMMs like Uniswap through LP positions or liquidity provision positions. In order to track these within iYield, we simply go back up here to the Add New button, paste in the address that we want to track, click the search icon, and from here, it's going to pull out all the items across various networks just like before, as well as these complex transaction types like provision of liquidity. And the cool thing about this is we're just focusing in on these two positions. So we're going to go ahead and untick all the other ones that we don't need. And once we've got that done, we go ahead and click the Add button. And just like that, we can see the positions populated here into our wealth makeup, asset allocation, and our list of assets. So this demonstrates a couple key things. It showcases that we can specify to iYield particular positions we want to track by ticking ones that we want to track and unticking ones we don't. But beyond that as well, it's also showing us here that we are extracting purely on-chain data. So we're not actually signing any transactions. We're not giving iYield access to sign or interact with smart contracts. We're purely just getting a visual read on where these positions stand and their US dollar term value. Now, the last thing I wanted to go ahead and show here, as well as kind of a personality, is also taking a look at kind of a DCA or passive portfolio. And what I wanted to focus on here is the budgeting tool. Now, the budgeting tool is really cool here because if you're doing dollar cost averaging, you can really do some quick streamlined calculations about where you could be within the next given months when it comes to those positions. Now, of course, there will be some degree of volatility. This is a projection at the end of the day. But if you're starting to, for example, have multiple DCA programs and multiple different cryptos, not to mention as well, you've got, for example, maybe activities you're doing in traditional finance, you're putting money into your equity portfolio or putting in your savings account. Some of these are already covered within the platform, and I'm certain that they're going to be adding more features and really helping to encompass and offer that full 360-degree view. Irrespective, it is imperative that if you've got crypto in various locations like your Ledger, your Coinbase account, for example, individual wallets, if you've got multiple different positions, even just to have that here is going to be incredibly valuable here. And you can get a clear reading on what your savings rate is each month. Not to mention factoring this in with your tax expenditures that you're going to owe on your income, the actual general expenses you're going to pay like your mortgage and traditional financial activities, to really try to get a picture of how much you're actually able to put away each month. I think it's a very valuable tool for all these different use cases. We dove through a couple different ways you can use iYield, but at the end of the day, guys, it can be utilized in a multitude of other ways and for different purposes. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we all come from different places when it comes with trading and investing, both in crypto and outside of crypto. And this is where iYield can really shine and become a platform that helps you to service your need to track all that data. Now, I understand some of you are wondering, okay, Nick, it's a free protocol at the end of the day. How does the platform make money? Well, the platform itself makes money essentially when you need to get above a certain threshold. They allow you to have over 1,000 items and 10 watch list pairs here on the bottom. And to be honest, at the end of the day, this is really the main threshold that would require you to move to the $39 a year plan, which is like nothing, to be honest. I'm just being real with you guys because a lot of protocols or platforms like iYield will charge you like $30 a month and they have a lower feature set. So this is already a really great deal in the event that you are doing so much on-chain activity where you need that. But I just wanted to let you know that that is something that allows them to monetize and be able to actually build a business that can sustain itself. But their big focus here at the end of the day is to make this as accessible for as many people as possible. It was initially created in inspiration from the founder who has been in crypto for a long time. He's an old crypto OG, and he's someone someone who had this issue of tracking all these major positions in the crypto space. And even if you're someone who's more kind of like serious and tapping into real staking yield programs, or you're more of a degen in crypto and you're trading meme coins, you're trading or chasing really high yields on different positions across various networks and new L2s, it doesn't really matter. It can be really useful for you in various different use cases. So again, if you're interested, check out the link down below in the description. Give it a shot. It's free. You don't even have to really sign up for an account. You can try out the demo to get a feel for it. And if you like it, sign up, give it a shot. And let me know what you think down below in the comments, guys, if it's something that's helped you out on your journey, if you already use iYield or if you're considering using it for your activities. Thanks so much, as always, guys, for tuning in. As always, my name is Nicholas Merton, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone.